recording.
Okay.
It's so different than in Zoom, so I got to get used to that.
Yeah.
Right. So what we're doing is we're really refining the tech stack, and that's what's going on while we're trying to be productive, while we're trying to learn how to use this thing, while our learning curve is improving, while it's changing. So no moving targets here, but this is what makes it experiential technology. It's like playing a multiplayer deep immersion video game, right? Like you're doing different things.
Yeah,
and
it really is. And I'm worried that I'm not doing the right things. That's why I'm still unclear as to whether or not have I replaced Notebook LM with Notion essentially.
Right. So again, those are tool choice things. Those are downstream consequences of getting the initial steps straight. That's why I'll totally help you with the tool step things, but let's first deal with sort of the what is the real goal here type of thing. So you basically, the way I think of it in the toolkit is you have frameworks. That's your mental models. It's the way you think about organizing things. Then you have workflows, which are actually this component does this, this component does this, this component does this. And those components have names on them like Notion and Notebook LM and the AI and Zapier and stuff. And then you have orchestration, which is your behavioral patterns for how to juggle those things and what frequency they need to be fixed because the API keeps jacking up or whatever. And then there's the underlying theory that, and I'm addressing, I think, an earlier part of the text that I saw you, which is why we are getting the conversation today together, is having lots of ideas and trying to figure out how to hook this stuff together.
Right.
And so there's a base idea here of having ideas, which is literally a creative process, is horrible for business.
Yes, it is. Because I have a lot of them.
Right.
And yeah.
When you're working, when you are actually doing the work of your business, you're not having ideas. Your goal is to repeat successful, profitable processes over and over and again until hell freezes over.
I'm doing zero of that right now. It's like I am in dire straits. I need to make some money.
Right. And so
okay, I'm not in dire straits.
The amount of time in the schedule for having ideas needs to be put on some pretty serious guardrails.
Right.
And then the rest of the time is, no, I'm doing the work of my business. And the problem that turns it into a gray, murky environment is but I need AI to do this in my tech stack. And so I'm going to have a conversation with AI, get into prompt looping. And then I'm having these great ideas because, oh my God, the output is freaking awesome. And it seems to marry what I'm doing in my business. So I think I'm actually producing something for my business.
Yeah.
And this is a fantasy of magnitude at this point.
Yeah, and it's so much fun.
Dude, it is so crazy cool.
And I've got Claude sitting here going, hey, I think you're getting into a rabbit hole. Hey, stop it. Pump the brakes. Luckily, it's trying, and I'm really strong. So I'm still like pushing past those guardrails from time to time.
And I really like having these ideas.
Yeah. So I do have in my dashboard a collection of ideas that Claude's like, hey, let's revisit this another time. But
that's a great discipline, right? But
right.
Again, when you're in the discipline, when your current activity is producing a lot of those, you're probably not actually doing the work of your business.
No, I'm probably not. And so I really want to try to figure out
that's really the first discipline.
Yeah. How do I keep doing the work that's good and continue doing the things that are going to gain me the business. Because I almost feel like now I'm choosing to play the game of Claude, right?
Right.
And not really focus in on driving my lead generation. Because there are so many pieces that I'm like, ooh, if I get this finished, then I'll have this to produce for that lead generation. And by the way, I'm also working in that business mastery course, making another workshop and learning more about marketing and all of that stuff. And that's all something I'm juggling alongside of this.
Right.
And so I'm like plugging it into Claude while I'm trying to learn this new thing and just getting further and further away from actually making it happen.
Right. Yeah, you might as well just call it a rabbit hole. It doesn't produce income. It keeps shining light on how much potential you could have if you really got your act together, I guess, or something like that, right? Like it's
Story of my life.
Yeah, for anybody who's dancing in this field at all, I was working on okay, so you got context files. And then you have document architecture. And so if you think of your personal philosophy and your business, the business philosophy, the key message platform, the branding guidelines, if you think of those at high level, the current structure that I have is 6 levels deep. And so there's intermediary levels, and then there's, so the top of it is essentially what we traditionally consider context files. And then the bottom is essentially asset production. So a folder full of, like, say, blog posts or emails or something like that, right? And what's in the middle of there? Well, what's in the middle of there, if you know the right questions to ask, is like, run me a spec-driven development schema across and design it for any content vector through my business based upon my folder full of IP categories. And then, because you've mentioned LinkedIn.
Yeah.
There's a certain demographic based upon your ideal clientele, based upon your current existing, based upon the demographic that's on a given channel. And those are all input vectors for a filter mechanism based upon your branding guidelines and your key message platform for that specific promotional channel. And in the middle of this stack, you can create a separate guidelines filter for the AI for each individual channel, so that at a high level, when you create, say, a blog post, or we're saying an article or something like that, it'll go down and it'll split and sub-filter and it'll work with the psychographic profile ideally suited for that specific channel based upon your followers and these inputs. And so like yesterday, I went through the trouble of getting this all set up. And, you think, I got my website, I got my newsletter list or my email list, I got LinkedIn, I got Facebook, right? By the time I asked for its input and figured it out, I had 22 channels. Now that seems horrendous, and the AI thinks it's horrendous, and it keeps insisting how much work we're going to be doing, and the implementation plans are months and this kind of stuff. And I have to keep clarifying to the AI, no, you don't understand. When we have the rich higher level material, and the reality is all you're doing is creating 22 Markdown files, this is not going to take long at all. And so we proofed out through the whole understanding of creating the system. And then I had it make the first channel guide. I looked at the guide, and then we proofed that out. I said, great. And of course, the AI goes, are you ready to start on the next guide? And I say, no. What I want you to do next is create all the rest of them. and 10 minutes later, they're all done. And so the AI has a horrible objective self-awareness for estimation of time, for
Yeah.
what it's actually doing.
Mhm.
And now that I'm capturing the dyadic relationship, it doesn't even know, well, until you tell it to tell you, it doesn't know the difference between completion of a set of actions within the context thread or on a file. And it doesn't know whether it's executing from the file or in the thread. You know what I mean? Like, so it's
Yeah.
extremely capable, but you have to be very hyper aware of what it's doing to what to optimize for best output.
Right.
Because I go through that action and it says, great, we did it. And I said, did you change the file? And it
I'm
goes,
doing the
oh,
same thing. Yep.
right. Right.
Yep.
So you're, and that's what's great about our conversations, because you're in the muck with me in this.
Right.
Now,
Well, that's good. At least I guess I'm on the right track.
well,
Yeah.
and so that's what my overall recommendation, I'm kind of like getting to my overall recommendation here is
Okay.
you need to really simplify this thing out.
Yeah.
Now is not the time to try to figure out the nuances of MCP protocols and APIs, nor do you need to.
Okay. That it Claude said that too. It was like N8M can go on the back for now. And what
Everything
we
you
need to do
need
is what
right
we need.
now
Yeah.
is Claude and Co-work and an accessible working directory on your computer.
Yeah.
So and what I did is I created Claude Co-work directory on the documents, in the documents directory. That's the only folder that it has access to. And within that, I put the toolkit. And I consider that entire thing just a working directory, because then I'll archive that off onto my portable hard drives and stuff like that. So no destruction is possible in this scenario, and no weird security shit is possible in this scenario. So it's all sandboxed, working on my current working stuff. And I'm monitoring it either via Obsidian or Mark texts in order to, I literally got a Finder window open with Markdown files in it.
Mm-hmm.
And the two of us are doing this on those Markdown files. And then what I do from an orchestration standpoint is I run multiple initiatives across multiple tasks. So I'm never waiting for Claude.
Right.
I just go from one task to the next one. It goes over there. It's doing that thing for a while.
Yeah.
It's, so you can
I'm
be
starting to
productive.
get better at that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can be productive nonstop.
Right.
And, months in, I have 5 megabytes worth of Markdown files. It's really hard to feel like when I go to work on a construction site and build a thing.
Yeah.
that the same amount of time and effort and sheer brain cycles is being as productive.
Right.
But when you look at the the latest prompt that I generated, I called it IP assessment. And so it's identified some intellectual property that's unique. What I did with the prompt was, I want you to assess each one of those and go out to the internet and find an evaluation criteria that establishes this and give me a confidence level on how unique this IP is. And it took, I don't know, 15 things that I had and put it into 3 tiers. And we assessed the first one. Of course, the AI said, "Are you ready to assess the second one?" And I said, "No. Did you update the file?" And it said, "Oh, no, I didn't." Okay, update the file. And so now I got a reusable prompt. And I said, "Now what I want you to do is take a tier 3 piece of IP and give me a plan and a strategy for making it a tier 1 piece of IP." And so now I have a system that generates IP. And it's literally an encoded prompt. And so from a prompt engineering standpoint, it's ludicrous because I just say, do an IAP assessment on blah, right? And this is what you see is the prompt complexity inversion system, right? Like it just, if you have the rigor and the discipline to capture what you think is strategic thinking, and you hold the AI, hold its attention to the guardrails of the conversation, and you notice what's going on, and you keep encoding to personal preferences not to behave like that, you get a system that just keeps evolving into a stronger and stronger setup.
Yeah.
That's what I've put into the toolkit. And
Okay.
that's really when I put it up there, because I had some people signing up in the community, I wanted to add something there. But I had a specific conversation with you directly, and that's why I emailed it to you and stuff like that. So it literally starts, it's I don't know, 6-8 folders. And in the first folder, the 0 folder, it's the start here folder, and the document is start here. It's literally the design of the system, why to do it, and that kind of thing. So,
and for some reason, the start here isn't opening for me.
it's just a folder.
Oh, that's all it is? So it's empty.
Huh?
The folder is empty. The start here markdown file.
It shouldn't be. When we're done with the call, I'll give you another copy.
Yeah, for some reason it will not open. I downloaded it to.
Are you opening it with a piece of software, or are you?
I opened it in the drive.
And are look in the other folders. Are they all empty?
All of them wouldn't open anything.
Why would they not open?
See. I don't know. This one's. I'm gonna.
I can give you another copy of it. Don't
Oh
sweat.
no! I put it in the drive, and it's the zip file, and it's not opening it. Maybe I need to put it on the hard drive.
The zip file's not unpacking.
It's not unpacking the zip. Yeah.
Oh, well, that's a completely different thing.
Then should I put it on my actual desktop then?
It's not the location on a drive. You need the software to unzip it, which is native to the Apple.
Right. Shouldn't that be like built in already? Any zip file I ever have usually opens it right up.
Yeah.
What do I need?
Do you get an error message or what?
Not getting an error message. When I open it, it just pops it open to AI Mastery Toolkit deployment. I can open that. I'm seeing all the files in there. The folders rather, 1, 2, and 3, and I can open all of them and see what's inside, but I can't open the actual file. Just if I double click on it, it just says copy file name. And
well, the files are .md files.
Right.
So if the only Markdown file editor you have is Obsidian,
yeah,
they won't launch. This is just a Markdown thing. If you have the deployment unzipped and you use Obsidian, you have to open that folder as a vault.
So should I open it and save it into Obsidian and then open it there?
You can't save it in Obsidian. Obsidian is just a viewer.
Okay.
It'd be
Where
like
should I?
saying that you're saving files inside of preview. It doesn't function that way.
Okay.
It's a viewer, and it's sort of like a Finder navigator. So what you do is you launch Obsidian, and then you either navigate to a folder, which in Obsidian talk is a vault, and then you can see the Markdown files within that folder. Or I think you can probably import a Markdown file. That'd probably work. I haven't played a ton with Obsidian for its Markdown capabilities. I just use it sort of as a note taker. But it will view the files in that directory, and then what it won't do is it won't see non-standard file formats, right? So it doesn't see docs and PDFs and stuff. It sees Markdown files because that's its native structure. So, the other thing you can do as a general utility outside of Obsidian, because it can be a little bit challenging to get your head around the navigation of Obsidian, is just use Mark Text. It's just a free downloadable thing. It's on GitHub, and it's essentially like Google Docs for Markdown files. And it's a MIT licensed open source light, easy utility that it's a Markdown file editor.
I haven't done anything with the GitHub yet either. I've just think I've created a place to sign in. Yeah.
Well, here's part of your struggle, right? You got a very spotty learning curve here with regard to just asking AI to show you how to connect this to this, right? There's fundamentals here. When you're working in AI, its main food input and output is Markdown. And so long before you're figuring out how to automate a Notion vector database, just work with the AI and just work with Markdown files in and out. And that's you'll become hugely productive if all you do is just work with Markdown files in and out. And then, when it comes to a LinkedIn thing, you just copy from the Markdown into a LinkedIn post and you're great, doing all this fancy API, MCP connectors and stuff and hoping for an automation, you're skipping over learning curve that's vital to your understanding here, I think is probably the best advice I can give you.
Yeah. I'm starting to get to a place where I'm like in over my head and I just need to be given some directives, like download this, put it here, do this, put it there.
And that's what I'm hoping to do, via the toolkit is literally just
cool.
Start with file 0 called start here, read. And one of the things I realized is I for some of the people too, it can't even be in Markdown file. I got to convert it to a PDF because they're not even yet familiar with a Markdown file format is.
I hope I understand what they mean. They seem to be pretty straightforward to me. Like I don't need them to be in a certain format to understand what they do and what they are. But
yeah, it's just a file format is all.
Yeah.
And we're talking like the lightest file format ever, right? Like it's right next to text file.
Right.
So it's almost it's next to the most interpretable file format there is. It's one step away, and it's what has become the default language input and output for AIs. So it's a really great format to get used to. It has very light syntax, but it's all human readable. And you can copy and paste it, like, if on your WordPress WordPress website, you can just copy and paste Markdown directly into the editor, and it turns out exactly the way you think it should, and all of this kind of stuff. Like, it's all going there. Apple Notes is Markdown compatible at this point. LibreOffice is they're gonna be there in the next edition here, so it's coming shortly. But
what do I do to get the mark text thing off of GitHub and put it where it's supposed to go? I searched mark text and then clicked on it, and now I've got like this list of developers. I think I don't really understand how this all works. I don't know shit about code.
Oh crap. Oh, hang on a second. I'm juggling two computers with one. There we go. I got two computers with one mouse and keyboard, and I forget to do things. I'm just pulling it up so that I can. All right, so you're on the main mark text thing, right?
Yes.
Let's see. Oh, wait a minute. Look in the App Store.
Where's that?
It's native application in your Apple.
Oh, in that app store. So it might be in there just as a freebie.
I think it might be, yeah. Download and install. That's dumb. Let me see. I'm just going to see what I'm on my other.
Mark text markdown editor.
Yeah, install it.
It says $3.99.
No. No. I mean, I think I installed it at the terminal, so that's what I'm. Latest. Oh, okay. Yeah, they have a DMG launchable. Great.
From within GitHub.
Yeah.
Where do I find it?
Got it. If you're on the main page for the distro. Are you?
Maybe.
So
here, let me do this.
This
is what I've got.
Yeah. All right, hang on. Gotta switch. Got it. All right, click on the mark text / mark text is top one. Scroll down. Stop. Downloads 2.5 million. Button, dark gray, light lime green, 2.5 mil. Click that. Scroll down. There's your Mac DMG file. Yep. Depending on your desktop. Or your OS, I should say. And while you're doing that, what I can do, I can pull a copy of the toolkit. Oh, I'm pulling a copy of it over to my IO so I can share my desktop, and I'll walk you through it.
I have to go to a meeting.
Oh,
And it looks like I got a damaged file, so it's not going to open for me. I've got to go through this process again.
maybe do the mac.zip version. That might be better. You in the office tomorrow?
Yes, and I also have to start another pet sit in Lakewood, so I'll be on the road for some of the morning, and then I'll be setting up in a satellite location. But yeah, I'll be in the office.
Well, the punchline here is to not get caught up in either novel ideas, creative thinking, or into tech, developer tech support issues, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the AI will give you straightforward answers on all these things, but it doesn't stop you from having to play tech support all day long. And so you got to start fundamentally with being able to work with an AI and have a collection of folders. And those collection of folders are your third-party independent source of truth for everything you're developing that works with AI, because that'll plug into any AI, and it'll contain files that contain the prompts for, say, image generation, video generation, all that other crap, right? It's all Markdown files. It's all a folder, and within the folder is a complete scaffolding and a structure of folders that are meaningful to you to understand at a glance the architecture that you're building. But it still comes down to a collection of Markdown files. And when Co-work has access to that folder, it can dump things in there, it can organize them and that kind of thing. And you can look at them as though you're looking at Office docs. And so that's
Right.
really, don't do anything else, just do that. You know,
Okay.
That's the most token efficient, the best chunk down version of the simple way to do that. And right now your focus is high quality input, high quality output. You can always copy and paste a PDF into LinkedIn or whatever. You don't need, for this component of your business development, just do that. That's more important. It's going to create higher quality content, higher quality outputs, not get you bogged down into tech, and you can copy and paste those things any damn place you want, right? So get good at that first. We'll do tech support shit later.
Okay.
I think that's the unsexy punchline to the lesson for the day.
Okay. Sounds good. I'll try to get this thing up and running so that it can read the files from the toolkit and try to get that going.
Cool. What do you want to meet tomorrow?
Yes. We'll have to shoot for something.
Just hit me up in the box, or don't worry about it.
In the afternoon. I'm better before 3. So if we can do something somewhere around noon, that would probably be best. I'll be all set up in my other office.
Okay. I'm here through today. Just hit me up on Voxer. I'll work it out.
Okay.
And I can, maybe I'll be in the middle of a bunch of workflows anyway. And so maybe that can be part of, I can just show you my desktop.
Cool.
And just say, well, watch what I'm working through. And then you can see the advanced version of the toolkit and the structure.
Sweet.
And see.
That's how I learn. Yeah.
Yeah. Because the thing is you shouldn't be trying to figure out a LinkedIn campaign. You should be telling the AI, from this document, generate a LinkedIn campaign for me. Right. And so that's the first output. You need that even if it's automated.
Right.
So yeah, you never want to work one off. You always want to be building systems that will produce from that day forward. And so it's a type of systems thinking to be willing to go slow and disciplined and capture all of the learning when you see non-optimal output, but also to be going, I only ever want to do a thing once.
Yeah.
And from that point on, it needs to be an executable prompt, command, whatever the hell you want to call it. But you want to be able to tell Claude to read in a Markdown file and do what it says. And that's an instruction set that automates the entire generation system, contextualized to the channel, the psychographics, the material that you're talking about, all that kind of stuff, and have it. The stated goal for me right now is I want Claude to generate 20 courses for me, all at the same time. And for each course, I want the entire asset package, which is all the email campaigns and all of the social media promotional stuff at the same time. And the reason for it, and it now understands, is because you have the context loaded right now. The most token efficient thing to do is to then create an email for the thing. It really thinks that's separate work and should be done separately, and it's going to take a lot of work to do that. And until you tell it, no, it's all currently in context. It's the most efficient thing to do.
Right.
Generate the course material, the LinkedIn post, the Facebook post, the email campaigns, the everything. Because all you got to do is pull in one more filter guide for that channel, and you already have all the context in local memory, right?
That's amazing. It's as though the way that I think is divergent. So I have all of these ideas at once, but Claude can actually execute them. So yeah. I'm actually asking it to do what I do, but better, because I can't do all the things.
That's awesome. It also prefers serial output. It's a commercial software product.
Right.
You tell it the preference whenever it can to run subagents. And so now all of my prompting is all parallel agent oriented. So when it does those things, it'll locally hold the context, and it just launches subagents on its own in the background. There's points where I have 3 or 4 tasks going, and I have 30 or 40 subagents running. And they're just all doing their things. I didn't have to design an agent saying it's a research agent, design an agent saying it's a copywriter agent. Those are not decisions that are optimal for me to figure out.
Right.
Let it do it.
Yeah.
And so just tell it, launch subagents, get this done as efficiently as you can. You know, it's
right
that.
on. Okay, man. I got to get to this meeting.
All right.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, brother. We'll see you. Have a good night.